EPD stands for Environmental Product Declaration. And so essentially what EPDs are, you can think of them as environmental nutrition labels. So similar to how a nutrition label on something you buy at the grocery store might say, this product has this many calories, this many grams of sugar. An EPD discloses for a certain construction material product, the global warming potential, ocean acidification potential, all these different environmental impacts associated with manufacturing the product. EPDs are the key vehicle for us with our supply chain that allows us to understand the carbon intensity of our products and then also which suppliers and manufacturers are doing the best work around reducing their carbon emissions. Our 2045 commitment is centered around our own operations, but also our supply chain. So we need to have all of our supply chain partners both disclosing carbon impacts via EPDs, but also showing reductions over time. I touched on Skanska's our corporate commitments around climate. At the same time, we have plenty of customers, clients, external stakeholders who are also asking for EPD documentation as a means to disclose carbon emissions, and then of course show reductions over time. So whether it's a project pursuing a green building certification like LEED, whether it's just a client who's asking us to disclose the carbon emissions of our supply chain, EPDs are those key pieces of documentation that allow us to say, here's the carbon footprint for that product, and in many cases, that documentation is third-party verified, so we have good assurance that the data quality is of a certain rigor and value. The way we're using EPDs, also through our co-developed EC3 tool, which is a digitized platform for EPDs. Basically what we're doing is we're going to the construction market and we can see the carbon intensities of all these different materials, and we're able to make more informed procurement decisions, similar to how we would go to the grocery store and be able to hopefully make well-informed decisions around food and the nutrition facts of food. So you'll notice I said the word informed procurement decisions. We're trying to incorporate carbon emissions of our supply chain into who we actually award work to. So I think that's a really important consideration for those who are a part of our supply chain. So in the past, before this emphasis on EPDs, of course we're going to get suppliers and manufacturers coming to us and saying, we have a low carbon product or we have an eco product, but we need to get out of that subjective language and just have data that can prove it out. And then when we have that data, we know what levers to pull to actually show reductions over time. And it creates a good competitive environment for our supply chain. If supplier A knows that supplier B is outperforming them, that's their incentive to also improve their processes.